All right, Khan, Shalom, Israel, Shalom to the Torah, Yasha Allah, giving the course, all honor, glory, and praise unto the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, in the name of the God, Yahweh Shai. This brother Yasha Allah.
Brother Natash.
This brother Sarat.
Khan, coming back to y'all yet another video through the Spirit by Yahweh, by Hashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. All right, Shabbat Shalom to the Torah tribes. That's keeping this day holy through the Spirit. It's also the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So we congregate. We're congregating. We're going to close out this feast. Most High willing, on Sunday night. Through the Spirit. So all praise to the Most High. Lord willing, everybody's having a blessed, mighty, holy Sabbath. Also a mighty holy feast of unleavened bread, man. So all praise to the Most High. So without further ado, as you can see from the title of the video, we'll be going into Easter. Now, people might see the title, and they're like, man, Easter's in the Bible, right? Because, we had to do this video for our Christian brothers, all right? Our Christian brothers and sisters that keep Easter, all right? Well, we're going to tell you right now, Easter, yes, it's in the Bible, but it's not what you think it is, all right? It's not what you think it is. That's the disclaimer. Easter is in the Bible, but it's not what you think. So let's kick it off real quick. Let's go to Acts chapter 12. Let's start at verse 1 through the Spirit.
This is Acts chapter 12 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now, about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church, and he killed.
Oh, Con, no, you got it.
Con. And he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also.
Right. So, Slaki, just the context, right? Let's just get the context. So what's going on is we see that this is Herod the king, who's the Edomite, and he's killing, right? He killed. Now, this is the first apostle out of the 12. It's James, the brother of John, which is one of the sons of Zebedee. You read about that in Matthew chapter 4. So James, the brother of John, actually is the first apostle to get martyred in the Bible, right? And so he killed James with a sword. And when he saw that it was pleasing to the Jews, he also wanted to take Peter also. He wanted to kill him as well. And it says that, go ahead.
Then were the days of unleavened bread.
So then were the days of unleavened bread. So we're during that same time, right? We're during that same time, the days of unleavened bread, right? So let's keep reading.
And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to four coordinations
or something like that.
Coordinons of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter.
After what?
After Easter.
After Easter. Go ahead.
To bring him forth to the people.
Yeah. So Easter is in the Bible, right? That's what people that's the first thing they're going to say. Easter is in the Bible, right? What you going to say? Now, of course, yeah. Okay, we just read that. Now, look, here's the thing for the people that just want to read the KJV and no other translation at all, don't want to do any comparative text or anything like that, don't also want to go to the original language as well, all right? Because you have certain Christians, right, maybe even certain Israelites, I don't know, that would not even look at the original language. They're just going to read it in English. Brother, you can't do it. You can't do that. You can't study the Bible like that, okay? You have to look at different translations. You have to look at the original language as well. That's why it's so crucial, because can't just rely on just one translation to just translate everything just beautifully and immaculately, right? There's no such translation on the earth that's just 100% accurate, okay? Because we have to understand that the people that's translating things, they also are going to put their own bias in it sooner or later, right? That's just what happens when you're translating something. So you're going to put your own bias in it, because you can translate a certain sentence from a language and you can translate it to a different language. You could say that thing probably 2-3 ways, right? Probably 2 to even 5 ways, different ways you could say it, depending on how you want to say it, depending on how you want to translate it. So we have to look at this. We have to look at this word where it says Easter, right? So let's look at the blue letter real quick, and let's see the definition for Easter. Let's see if it says Easter in the Greek, or what does it say, right? So in the Greek, it says Pascha, right? Pashka. Now, what does that mean? It says the Paschal sacrifice, which was accustomed to be offered of the people's deliverance of old from Egypt. Exactly. It's talking about the Passover, All right, that's what that's talking about. It says the Paschal lamb, i.e., the lamb the Israelites were accustomed to slay and eat on the 14th day of the month of Nisan, the first month in their year. So this is exactly going into what the ordinance of the Passover. So remember that this word Pashka or Pashka is is actually a Greek transliteration of the word, right, of the Hebrew word for Passover. Right? It's just a transliterated word.
Which is Pesach.
Pesach, exactly, in the Hebrew. So as you can see right here, it says Aramaic origin, but we know that, whether it's Aramaic or whether it's Hebrew, we know that Aramaic is a dialect or form of Hebrew anyway. So that's the point. The point is that it actually comes from the Hebrew, right? So it says what? Paschal supper, right? The Paschal feast, the feast of the Passover. So it's going into the Passover, but it has nothing to do with Easter. You have to understand that Easter is not the Passover. All right. Let's look up Easter real quick. All right. Let's look at Easter. Yeah. So what does this have to do with Yahushua? What does this have to do with the Passover, man? The Passover during what do you have to eat during the Passover? You got the lamb, right? Lamb, right? The lamb, the bitter herbs, unleavened bread, stuff like that, right? With salt, But what does this have to do with the land? I mean, what does this have to do with Yahushua? In fact, right? Real quick, let's get actually before we get there, because we have a couple points to touch, so I don't want to jump the gun. But that's essentially what we're going into, right? Easter in the Bible is not talking about the Easter that you might think of. All right, when you're finding the eggs and it's hidden, and the bunny, and the rabbit, or things in that nature, things of that nature. And nowhere in the Bible does it say it's on Sunday either. All right, just another point.
Hey, also,
just
show how many times that word is in there.
Oh yeah, Con. That's another point. Let's go to that. Let's go to to that. So any other time is translated as Passover. Okay, Con. So lucky. Hold on. So this word, where is it? 27. Where do you have to go to get that? Actually, oh yeah, Con, right here,
Yeah.
Con. It says that KJV translates Strong's G3957 in the following manner: Passover 28 times, but Easter only once. You see that? So they had to manipulate this. Remember, the people that translated the KJV, they're Catholics. Okay, so you have to understand the context of this. They're Catholics. So what they're doing is they're imposing their own ideology. They're imposing their own Catholic view into the Bible, which is an error. You can't do that, right? That's another point why in First Corinthians, I believe the 13th chapter, they translate charity, right? Or they translate love instead of charity. They say charity instead of love. It says charity, all right, which is not exactly. We know that in the spirit that's the same thing, but love with charity is just a form of love. It's not the main source of it, right? Or we should say. So it says Passover 28 times, and they only translate it to Easter only once. So you already know that this is not what it's talking about, though. It's talking about the Passover, all right? So, but brother had a point of precept.
No, you kind of because like you were saying, it only enter once in the thing. So, but that's like that was their whole goal, from going to Greek and to the English, and that's why they only translate it once, so they can deceive us, and especially why ultimately it's only in the New Testament as well. But you got to keep
right. Con. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah. So let's just go into the ordinances of Easter, right? What they do. What do they do? I mean, let's just read this real quick, right? It says, can a brother read that real quick?
Easter, also called Pascha or Resurrection Sunday, is a Christian festival and cultural holiday commemorating the resurrection of Jesus from the dead. described in the New Testament as having occurred on the third
Third day.
day of his burial.
No, the second day.
On the third day
Right.
of his burial,
following
his crucifixion by the Romans at Calvary, c. 30 AD.
Right, circa 30 AD.
Khan.
Yep. Yeah, Khan, the water. So that's exactly right. Well, I shouldn't say exactly, because we know that a lot of the stuff that, because look, we have a lot of, of our people that still celebrate Easter, whether they're Catholics or they could even be Protestants, they still celebrate Easter. But we have to understand, I was talking to Natasha before the video, Christians hate it when I say your doctrine comes from the Catholic Church. But it's true though. All your customs, man, all your customs, Easter, right? The ideologies, the Holy Trinity, so-called Holy Trinity, the Immaculate Conception, Virgin Mary, right? All of these, salvation for everybody. Guess what? Catholic goes back to the Greek word Katholikos, which means universal. So they're the ones that created these heresies that everybody who's a Christian believes in nowadays. The doctrine of hell. If you did your history, you'll know that they inserted that they taught it on purpose to scare people. If you're not giving to the church, don't want to, hey, you're not giving money to us, guess what? You're going to burn in hell, right? You're going to burn in this place for eternity. They're going to flip to certain priests and manipulate them to their own destruction, right? So the law is done away with. All this stuff, it comes from the Catholic Church. And Easter is one of them, man. All right. And also, you see the day, right? It says Sunday. Where in the Bible does it say Sunday? Show me that. How come it's every Sunday? So that means you're following that calendar instead of what the Lord got going on.
Right.
It has to be on a Sunday. And they say that, okay, so let's go to the precepts real quick, right? It says the third day. That's right, though. It says the third day of his burial, right? So it's not the second, because they say that Yahushua was crucified on Friday. So let's get to the precepts real quick. Let's go to Hosea, first precept, Hosea 6:1, right? Go to Hosea 6:1. This is a prophecy about Yahushua.
Come. This is Hosea chapter 6 and verse 1. Come and let us return unto the Lord, for he hath torn and he will heal us.
Right.
He hath smitten and he will bind us up.
Right.
After 2 days will he revive us.
Right.
In the third day.
In the what?
In the third day.
No, the second day.
In the third day.
Right.
He will rise up or raise us up.
Right.
And we shall live in his sight.
Right. And that's a prophecy not going into Yahushua, right? In specific. It's going into us, but it's also going into Yahushua as well. Right? Because we know that we are the body of Yahushua. So him being raised up on the third day is symbolic for Israel being raised up on the third day as well, because we are his body. All right. So that's what that's going into. It says 2 days he will revive us, and the third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. So let's go to that in the New Testament where Yahushua talks about that. Let's go to Matthew chapter 19 and verse number 21. Right? Or so like Matthew chapter 16. Actually, I want it. Matthew 16 and verse number 21.
This is Matthew chapter 16 and verse 21.
Right.
From that time forth began Jesus to show unto his disciples how that he must go unto Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders and chief priests and scribes, and be killed and be raised again the third day.
And be raised again on the what day?
The third day.
The third day. Okay? You hear that, Christians? The third day. Not the second. Not the... Because, all right, let's look at it. Let's look at a calendar. Let's pull up a calendar, right? All right, come on. This is a calendar. Now, this is the calendar that they're going off of anyway. 7-day week, all right? 7-day week. So let's just look at it. Yeah, kind of like this. So they said that Yahushua died on a Friday, right? He was crucified on a Friday. Let's just say that's true. So if you died and was crucified on a Friday, and they said that well, it doesn't even make any sense, because Easter is supposed to be the Passover. The Passover is when he died, though, right?
Exactly.
So I don't even get their logic. They say this about So, okay, real quick, it says in Easter, they said for Easter is a cultural holiday commemorating the resurrection. Okay, so it's really supposed to be about his death, right? Because Passover is about the death of Hamashiach Yahusha, right? Not in the sense of glorifying it, but in the sense that we eat it in his remembrance, right?
God.
Because when we eat the lamb, we eat the bread, and we drink of the wine, we do it in remembrance of Yahusha, because he represents those things, right? In the spirit. Now we also do it to commemorate what we did in the time of Moses, but nowadays we do it to commemorate Yahusha because he's greater than Moses, right? So it says that. So let's say he died on Friday. Now, if we can count right, one day, right? Let's just count 1, 2. Wait, hold on, hold on. So it's only so if he died on a Friday, you got Saturday, and then you have Sunday. That's the second day.
God.
And then the third day would actually be Monday. But why do you guys always do it on Sunday? See, it's that same thing. It's always that Sunday worship spirit, right? Guess where that came from? Catholic Church. If you study it, that's where you know what that came from. When they try to integrate, right, during the time of the Romans, they try to integrate the scriptures. Well, at that time they called it Christianity, right? They try to integrate Christianity with the Roman pagan traditions that they had going on. And so what they do, they used to worship the sun on this certain day. So they called it Sunday. But that's the same day that they went to church. You see that? On the Sunday.
God.
So you see, it just doesn't make any sense. And they'll pull scriptures like Acts chapter 20, where Paul was recorded preaching on the first day of the week. They'll say, see you on the first day of the week. But they would just totally ignore all the other precepts that say that they went into the synagogue every Sabbath.
God.
Right? So I don't know. I don't understand, because that's what they do. They twist precepts. So we see here that that's just a ton of BS. Okay. How is Sunday the third day? You can't count. If he died on a Friday, they call that what? Good Friday, right? They call that Good Friday. Or they I mean that's the Good Friday, right? Yeah, that's the Good Friday before Easter. So the Good Friday. Oh, right now it's Good Friday. I didn't even know that. So they call that Good Friday. So if he died on Sunday, or it's like if he resurrected on Sunday, that's only 2 days, Playboy. That's only 2 days. It's like sorry, yeah, the point of precept.
I do got a precept, which is going to scheme. Because hey, that's a good point. And like he was going into, because hey, if you read in the precepts, you can't miss it. Like the brother, he brought out 2 mighty precepts, and I'm gonna bring out 2 precepts to the spirit. And I'm gonna bring out Jonah chapter 2, and I'm gonna start at I'm gonna start at Jonah chapter 1 verse 17. It says, this Jonah chapter 1 verse 17. It says, now the Lord had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Now that's important, and it's also symbolic of what's going on, right? So Jonah was in the belly for 3 days and 3 nights, right? So let's go to St. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 40, right? Because you gotta precept this thing up, and also be able to read these things, right? This is St. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 40. It reads, I'm gonna start at 39. It says, but he answered and said unto them, an evil and adulterous generation seeking after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. So he talking about the prophet of the sign Jonas. That's the sign that you get, right? Verse 40, for as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. And so it's the same exact symbolism as what a Jonah, when he was in the well, that's how Yahushua is going. He going 3 days and 3 nights, and then he, like the brother said, that's his resurrection, not 2 days and then boom, But Khan, you got a king.
Yup, Khan. Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a good point. Let's get some more precepts on that too, what the brother was saying. Let's go to Matthew 16 verse 21. Out of the mouth of Christ, right? Let's see if it was 2 days or what they call it after Good Friday, right? Read that, King.
God, this is Matthew chapter 16 and verse 21. From that time forth began Yahushua to show unto his disciples how that he must go unto Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders and chief priests and scribes, and be killed and be raised again the third day.
No, on the second day.
The third day.
The third day. It's evidently clear. You can't get around it. See, this is the question that, we would ask people that keep Easter on Sunday, right? Or, that keep Easter at all, but, especially on Sunday. How is it the third day? You got to explain that. How is it the third day? Because we know that Yahushua, he was literally slain on the Passover. Now, here's the thing. We're going to also watch this video on the pagan origins of Easter, because there's a reason behind everything you see. It's a reason why there's a bunny. You might look at this and be like, oh, that's a cute bunny. Oh, that's just an innocent bunny right there. It's just an innocent rabbit, right? That's not, look, what does a rabbit and a bunny have to do with, eggs? Because last time I checked, they don't lay eggs.
Right.
Let's get that real quick. Do rabbits lay eggs? Let's see.
Man,
Rabbits lay eggs. Rabbits are placental mammals, and they give birth to a litter of 12 or more bunnies. Does a bunny deliver eggs?
They give birth, they don't lay eggs.
It gives birth, exactly. It's like a woman. Women have placenta, the spirit, and they have the same, same organ, I should say, the spirit.
Yep, Khan, exactly, King. And this, yep, exactly, right here. It says, eggs, just like the rabbit, have been long considered an ancient symbol of fertility, rebirth, and new life. According to who? It says all association with the springtime celebration of Easter. So you see just the mixing of ideologies together. Let's get real quick. Let's go to Proverbs. I think I wanted Proverbs 20. Let me just check this real quick. Proverbs 23, and let's go to verse. Let's just start at verse. Let's just start at verse 29.
This is Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 29.
Who
have woe? Who have sorrow?
Right.
Who have contentions?
Who have woe? Who have sorrow? Who have contentions? Go ahead.
Who have babbling?
Mm-hmm.
Who have wounds without cause?
Right.
Who have redness of eyes?
Right.
They that tarry long at the wine, they that go to seek mixed wine.
They that go to seek what?
They that go to seek mixed wine.
They that go to seek mixed wine. You see, our people, they go to seek mixed wine. This is the mixed wine that the scripture is talking about. It's an ancient symbol of fertility, rebirth, new life, according to who? The heathen. The heathen took the eggs and a rabbit and tried to idolize it. And that's why you have Easter, which the origins of that word is really going into Ishtar, okay, which is the goddess of fertility. Let's look her up real quick. Ishtar, right? Ishtar, right? This is the goddess Ishtar, so-called. Can a brother read that real quick?
Easter was originally the celebration of Ishtar,
right?
The Assyrian and Babylonian goddess of fertility and sex.
See that? Just a whole bunch of madness. Where does the Bible say to worship Ishtar? In fact, let's get that law. Let's hold that precept. Let's go to Exodus 20. Let's go back to the law. Exodus 20 and verse number 3.
This is Exodus chapter 20 and verse number 3.
Right.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
No, you should have Ishtar before me.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Right. Exactly. So if you worship in Ishtar by celebrating Easter, not even knowing what you're doing, you're having a God before Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Let's go. You can drop that. Let's go to Exodus 34 and 12. Right. See, this is why we can't deal with the heathen like this. Because if we deal with them, right? This is what's going to happen. We're going to have our children, right? Our sons and our daughters worshiping after other gods besides Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right, Khan, go ahead, King.
This is Exodus chapter 34 and verse number 12. Take heed to thyself.
Examine thyself.
Lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither thou goest.
And that's what happened, what we did. You see the Assyrian and Babylonian. Did Israel go into captivity into each of those nations?
Right.
Exactly. So we held on to those traditions, right? Or we was retaught it. Because guess what? Here in America, Babylon the Great, it's a modern day what? Assyria and Babylon. That's why you had the same gods and goddesses, right? Go ahead.
Lest it be for a snare in the midst of thee.
Right. What is Easter?
Lest it be for a snare in the midst of thee.
Right. Easter is a snare unto you. Christmas is a snare unto you. You know, Valentine's Day is a snare unto you. All these things is a snare unto you. Even Jake sometimes wants to get into what's it called? St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day is a snare unto you. It's actually a mocking to our people when you go into the dark history of it. You know, what kind you got it, King?
But ye shall destroy their altars.
Ye shall what?
But ye shall destroy their altars.
Hey, guess what? The Lord actually commanded us to destroy these altars that look like this. You know, this is basically a altar or maybe a idol, basically, of Ishtar. The Lord said, destroy it. Right? Go ahead.
Break their images. Cut down their groves.
Right.
For thou shalt worship no other God.
No, you should keep Easter.
For thou shalt worship no other God. For the Lord, whose name is jealous,
right,
is a jealous God.
So Yahweh Shem Yahushua is a jealous God. He doesn't want our people celebrating Easter, man, because it has nothing to do with the Bible. You can't prove it has anything to do with the Bible. Show me rabbits and eggs having any correlation with Yahushua. Any correlation. I'll wait. In fact, actually, I'm not going to wait, because if we were to wait, we're going to wait all year. We're going to wait all lifetime, because you can't find that in the Bible. You must be reading some other book. All right, some other ideology. All right, it's not coming from here. The Bible says, if any man speak, let him speak as a what? As the oracles of God.
Right.
Not according to Esau or any other nation. You know. But Khan, so like brothers had anything else on that?
Verse 15. Lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land.
Right.
And they go a whoring after their gods.
Go ahead.
And do sacrifice unto their gods. And one call thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice.
Right, exactly. See? Then this what happens. And you might see this, might be like, oh, they're just capturing eggs, man. What's wrong with that, man? You're being too hard on them. Yeah, well, here's the thing. A lot of these people that celebrate Easter and that might see it, or you're just doing it for the kids, you dressing up as a bunny, and you know, you're hiding these things in the eggs. You might see it as a fun event. Guess what? How come you guys aren't actually keeping the actual commandments?
Right.
You know, why are you guys keeping Easter, not Passover? Right? You should be keeping the Passover. Why you want to focus on these pagan traditions that you can't find in the Bible at all? You just want to totally ignore what the Most High actually wants you to keep. And you want to go for your own vain tradition, man, like how the Bible says.
Salaki, back in Acts chapter 12, when it's talking about Easter, it mentions the days of the unleavened bread. Why aren't you keeping the feast of unleavened bread?
Right.
But you're going to keep the Easter. You pick that out. You
right.
know what I'm saying,
Yep. No, that's a good point. You want to pick and choose. You know, you just skip over that. Days of unleavened bread. Yeah. You just skip over it. Yeah. You can't just skip over it. All right, you can't just skip over it. Honestly, hey, guess what, Paul? You're like how Deacon Zachary says. Hey, Paul is the God of the Christian church. You know, because they just worship Paul, man, all the time. Prove salvation is for everybody. Oh, let's go to Galatians. Prove that the law is done away with. Oh, let's go to Philippians. Let's go to Ephesians. Right? Prove that the Trinity. Oh, let's go to. You always want to go to Paul. So okay, let's just see what Paul said then. All right, and then Sarek, you got it after. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 5 and verse 7. All right, let's start at verse 6. Shalom, okay.
Shalom, Marjorie.
1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse number 6.
Right.
your glorying is not good.
Uh-huh.
Know ye not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump?
Right. So what's going on here is that Paul is making an analogy, okay, a comparison between two things. He's saying that a little leaven is going to leaven the whole lump, meaning if you're cooking some, some bread, if you just add a little leaven in there, it's going to leaven the whole lump, right? It's going to make the whole lump to rise. So he's doing that as he's making an analogy. He's taking something that's physical and he's making it spiritual, right? And that lump is a representation of the body, right? So we can't have, leaven in the body. That leaven in this case will represent sin, right? That's why you have the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread is about, getting leaven out your house. We know that to be the Most High is really focusing on the spirit, all right, not necessarily on the carnal aspects, right? Because you can get leaven out the house all the time, right? You can get leaven out the house. You can have no leaven in your quarters whatsoever, right? And you can not eat any leaven whatsoever, but your spirit is still bad. Your spirit is still evil, brother. But yeah, let's just keep going in that. That's
verse 7.
Uh-huh.
Purge out therefore the old leaven,
Right.
that ye may be a new lump,
Right.
as ye are unleavened.
Uh-huh.
For even Hamashiach, our Passover,
No, our Easter,
our Passover,
our Good Friday,
our Passover,
our Passover. You see how Easter and Passover is not? Good Friday is not mentioned here. Oh yeah, you Christians that keep Good Friday. Where's that in the Bible? In fact, show me the word where it says Friday in the Bible. You can't do it, right? Why you can't do it? Because you're not studying this Bible. Because you just want to look at the so-called Hebrew Israelites as thugs, and just people that don't know what we're talking about. Guess what? We didn't just wake up one day with this. You just started making videos, right? We just woke up and just wanted to just deceive the people, right? It's just madness, right? So it says even Christ our Passover, go ahead, King,
is sacrificed for us.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, let us keep the feast.
No, let us not keep it.
Therefore, let us keep the feast.
No, the law, that's the old law.
Therefore, let us keep the feast.
Let us keep the feast.
God.
What feast is talking about? Passover. Feast of Unleavened Bread. Not talking about Easter. It's not talking about Good Friday or anything else that you guys got going on. All right. It's talking about the Feast of the Passover, right? The Feast of Unleavened Bread. Go ahead.
Not with old leaven,
neither
with the leaven of malice and wickedness,
right?
But with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth.
Right. So meaning that you want to have a good spirit as you enter into the Passover, right? That's what he's talking about. So why Christians not keeping that? Right? Why Christians just want to do their own vain traditions, right? But Khan, you got it, King. It's madness.
Khan, like the brother said, hey, why you keeping these heathen traditions, man? What's going on? But like the brother, hey, he pointed out a beautiful point. It's all about the children. It's all about the children. So you saying what the hell with the children? You don't care enough about your children, right? I'm gonna get this precept in Psalms 106 and verse 35. It says, but word mingle among the heathen and learn their words. Like the brother, we went through these certain captivities, and we literally was got mingled with their works, and learned everything that they was doing, right? It says what? And they served their idols, which were a snare unto them. Yeah, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils. And that's exactly what they doing, sacrificing their sons and their daughters to devils in the spirit, man. They literally, I'm doing this for the children, hiding money in the little fake eggs and dyeing the eggs and all these different things. And ultimately, when you go into the history, that it's all symbolic of certain things too. When you really go into the dipping of the egg is going to the blood, all the bloods and fertility and stuff like that, right? And that's what we doing, literally learning the works of this heathen and putting it on our children. And ultimately, I'm doing for my kids, but you're sacrificing your kids unto the devils and to their idols, right? So I'm gonna get the precept because people just think, Ishtar is just she just came out of nowhere, but and people don't believe in the Bible. But we here to say, the Bible is a real book. It's a real living soul in this thing, right? We can find Ishtar in the Bible. Yeah, her name is in the in Hebrew, Ashtaroth, right? We're gonna get on it, right? This is Judges chapter 2 in verse. I'm gonna start at 11. It says, "And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord and served Baalim, and they forsook the Lord Yahweh of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other gods and the gods of the people that were round about them, and bound themselves unto them, and provoked the Lord to anger. And they forsook the Lord and served Baal and Ashtaroth." So they literally were serving Ishtar. She's one of the 8 Babylonian goddess that they was serving in the time. Hey, so that's how you know a Ashtaroth or Ishtar. She's literally living in this a new age, and to get more deeper and deeper, like the brother said, we literally living in Babylon again, or Greek again, or the Roman, or these different ancient hierarchy empires, right? Because you could Ishtar, they the symbol of Starbucks, man. They literally got you going there every time you go to Starbucks, and you literally worship Ishtar through the spirit. That same emblem they got it. Hey, that's how you know we still living, and we still have that captivity going on. But like you were saying, Ishtar or Ashtaroth, which you could read about in the Bible, it's all real through the spirit. And stop serving your children to idols through the spirit, man. And give like the brother say, why you not celebrate the Passover, man? The feast of unleavened bread. What's going on, man?
Right.
Okay, you
got out. Con, hey, it's madness. Con, exactly. Let's see. How this. Let's see what pops up. Yeah. See, it's. Wow, that's crazy. See, I don't know. Like, I don't know what people think, but you think that America, just because it got, you go into the store, you go into a Ralph's, you go into a, I don't know what stores brothers go to, man. Safeway, Bonds. You see all the bright lights, and it's all the food there, and you kind of just walk in, and it's like, oh man, we live in a, beautiful country, right? You see all manner of nations there. And you just seduced by the lights and the buildings or whatever. I don't know. Jake is just seduced, man. But I don't know. You said what, King?
I said the utopia.
Yeah, utopia. Hey, certain brothers may think it's a utopia. So of course, they're blind. But the thing is, I don't know where see, like how the brother brought up. That's literally Ishtar. But I don't know what people think, but you live in a society where idolatry is everywhere. All right. You have to understand that. Down to the Starbucks coffee, McDonald's, the symbols on your TV, whatever, all of it's just idolatry, right? They're trying to get you to sin. This is a sinful nation, all right? This is a literally sinful nation. It's called Babylon the Great, Kingdom of Whores, all right? Or the whore. All right. So real quick, let's go to Salaki. Did you bring out Jeremiah, King? You brought out Jeremiah?
La. I want another point before we go to Jeremiah. Just a quick point. Like they were saying, fertility. It's going fertility and like sexuality. That's why our children is into what they into nowadays, man. Because what they got doing celebrating something that has something with fertility or sex or something with sexuality in it. They parents got to think about this, man. But Khan, you got it, King.
Yeah, Khan, exactly. Just look it up. It's not like, look, we're not cracking open some mystery book. It's a book that's just this giant. We have to blow off the dust and open it like this, right? We're kind of saying on page 2003, right, or something like that. It's literally on Google. It's literally in your face. People still say, "Oh, how you know that's real? How you know that exists? How you know this? How you know that?" Brother, come on now. All right, it's just crazy. So let's go to Jeremiah 44 and verse number 15. Right, we go to Jeremiah 44 and 15 because people have been celebrating, or I really shouldn't say celebrate, but have been worshiping the goddess Ishtar, right, and other goddesses such, kind of her equals, right? So let's go to Jeremiah 44 and 15.
This is Jeremiah chapter 44 and verse 15.
Uh-huh.
Then all the men which knew that their wives had burned incense unto other gods,
Right.
and all the women that stood by, a great multitude, even all the people that dwelt in the land of Egypt and Pathros, answered Jeremiah, saying,
Uh-huh.
As for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of the Lord,
Right.
we will not hearken unto thee.
We will what?
We will not hearken unto thee.
So all Jeremiah is doing, this is his job. He's just speaking the words of the Lord, right? But he has to get ridiculed, mocked, smote upon, you know what I'm saying? Go through all manner of hell just for doing his job, you know? And they're saying to Jeremiah, yeah, you're prophesying in the word of the Lord, but in the name of the Lord, but we're not going to hearken unto you, right? It's just, man, this the same, kind of like the same way you tell our people, Ishtar, Easter goes back to Ishtar, it's not in the Bible, this and the third, it's idolatry. If you keep celebrating this, you will stay in sin. The Most High is going to kill you. If you don't repent. I mean, we just got to say it like this, right? Hey, you're not going to make it into the kingdom keeping Easter and worshiping other gods, right? I mean, it's just simple like that. And then they'll say, "Oh, we're not going to hearken on to you." Right? Same thing, but go ahead.
Verse 17,
right?
But we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth.
Wait, what they say?
But we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth.
We're just going to do what we want to do.
Right.
We don't care about what the Most High wants us to do. We're going to do whatever we want to do. Right? Go ahead.
To burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven.
Unto the what?
Unto the Queen of Heaven.
To the Queen of Heaven. You see that? The Queen of Heaven. We're in the Bible. Show me, what day was this Queen of Heaven made? Oh, it was before the angels, huh? Before Genesis 1 and 1. Brothers gonna say that, right? It was before Genesis 1 and 1. It was before the creation, huh? Right? This Queen of Heaven, guess what? In the third heaven, there is no Queen of Heaven.
Right.
Okay? There is no. You said what, King?
I said, bring that up.
Hey, Khan, exactly. There's no Queen of Heaven. The Most High is not up there with his rib, like, hey, Khan, this rib right here, and that's how you got your house shot. That's not what happened, right? So in the third heaven, guess what? You have the multitude of angels. Majority of them are men. There's only one account of the angel being a female in Zechariah. That's the only account, right? But the majority we read about the angels in the Bible, they're austere, they're strong, they excel in strength, as the scriptures say. They do his commandments, and they're men. They're mighty men, right? Also, you have Yahweh, right? And you have the Most High. There's no account of a Queen of Heaven. So this Queen of Heaven is an idol. You go into history to find out what this is, right? So when you go to the Queen of Heaven in antiquity is could be Aina, right, which is a Sumerian goddess of love and war, right? It says Ainana, if I'm mispronouncing that, Salakia, was also associated with rain and storms with the planet Venus. Okay, so again, a lot of madness. All right, that's an idol. Let's keep going down. Astarte says the goddess, the Queen of Heaven, whose worship Jeremiah so vehemently opposed. So this person is actually referring to the Queen of Heaven as Ishtar, right? That Jeremiah spoke about. It says may have been possibly Astarte, right? Astarte, if I'm mispronouncing that, lucky, is the name of a goddess as known as from the northwestern Semitic regions, cognate in name, origin, and functions with the goddess Ishtar. You see that? So it's the same goddess, so-called. So you see, even in our Bible, in our text, you had our people worshiping the same thing. And this during the time of what? The Babylonians. So if this during the time of the Babylonians, we know that we're in what? Modern day Babylon right now. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Wait, Slaki, let's hold that. Let's get a quick precept. Slaki, Ecclesiastes 3 and 15, right? We have to understand that history is going to repeat itself. You have the same spirits on the earth as you did 2,000, 3,000 years ago, right? And that involves kingdoms as well. So let's get that.
Con, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
That which have been is now.
That which have been is now.
And that which is to be have already been.
It has already been. People keeping Easter nowadays have already been in the ancient world. Go ahead.
And Yahweh requireth that which is past.
And the Most High requires that which is past. You see that? So it's the same thing going on today. People worshiping the same gods, right? Even in it says the Hebrew Bible references, right? The Queen of Heaven is mentioned in the Bible and has been associated with a number of different goddesses by different scholars. You see that? So it's the same person. So yeah, let's keep reading on that. Let's just finish that real quick. In Jeremiah 44.
Jeremiah chapter 44 and verse number 17.
Yep.
But we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven and to pour out drink offerings unto her.
Right.
As we have done, we and our fathers, our kings and our princes in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. For then had we plenty of victuals and were well and saw no evil.
So what's going on is they're saying, well, we're going to continue to worship Ishtar, so-called Queen of Heaven, pouring out drink offerings unto her, right? As our fathers did our kings, which were going off, right? Because they said, because when we were doing that, we were well. We didn't see any evil. You see, a lot of people, they don't turn from the wickedness because they think it's all good. They're like, man, I've been doing this for 20 years, 30 years, right? You got certain stubborn jakes when they get old. I've been smoking cigarettes since I was 13, right? Here I am, I'm 70. I'm not gonna I never stopped before. Why I'm gonna stop now, right? See, I mean, so let's get that precept real quick in Ecclesiastes. Let's just show that that's actually in the Bible as well. That people, they don't care. When it's going good in their wickedness, they don't care, right? They're not going to turn from it. Let's go to Exodus chapter 8 and verse 11.
This is Exodus chapter 8 and verse number 11. And the frogs shall depart from thee, and from
Ecclesiastes 8:11. Right? Because when people are in their wickedness and life is all good, when they're presented with righteousness, they don't want to turn to it. Because whenever we're keeping the commandments, we're faring well, we're faring okay. I would put it like that. We're okay, but we're not, all like, let's say we were doing some dirt and some wickedness, right? We was making some money off of, selling whatever, what I'm saying, selling some, unrighteous things. We were doing some unrighteous things just to get that bag. We would be rolling in what? Damn, Mercedes, what I'm saying? Brothers that have chains and gold and all this other stuff. Yeah. And brothers be living in these big old houses or whatever. You be living fat because you're in your wickedness, though. Right. Because this world is for the wicked, right? So if you want to indulge in wickedness, you're going to be living good, But yeah, go ahead, King.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 11.
Right.
Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily.
Right.
Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
Right. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. You see that? Therefore, in the sons of men, they're like, okay, well, I can keep doing that. I kind of smoked a cigarette. Did I die? I didn't die. That's what Most High ain't struck me down yet. I guess I can keep doing it. That's not the mindset that we should have. All right. It's not a mindset we should have. And that's the mindset that they had. Real quick.
I got another precept.
Okay, Con, you got it.
Con, this is Amos chapter 9 and 10.
Go ahead.
And it says, all the sinners of my people shall die by a sword, which say, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us.
Right. You see that? You see that? They say that the evil is not going to overtake or prevent us. Meaning, yeah, all this evil we're doing, it's not going to overtake us. Right? The Most High is not going to be bothered by it. Right? Con, can you add a precept on that?
Con, I got a precept on that. Okay, the wicked, the Most High gonna get up with you, man. It says, this is Job chapter 21 and verse 30. It says, that the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction. They say, yeah, you getting away with it now. Yeah, you lollygag, you got the beamer, you got the big fat rope, and you got all these things. You got the nice mansion on the hill, and you live in like a what's his name? DMX and Belly, man. All white, the whole White Castle, man. You living good, right? This is let me finish it out. That the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction. They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. So hey, they gonna have their day. Because you think you get away with it, you think you gonna just be wicked forever, and that the Most High is gonna turn a blind eye to it. No, your day is already being set. If you continue in that path. But Khan, you gotta keep.
Yeah, that's yeah, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. And let's get real quick. You got your part. Yeah, Khan. All right. Give me First Maccabees 1 and verse 11. It's the same thing. It's the same spirit over and over again, right? It's the same spirit over and over again, man.
1 and 11, right?
Yeah, Khan. 1 and 11, Khan.
This is First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 11.
Right.
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us.
Right.
For since we departed from them,
right,
we have had much sorrow.
We have had what?
We have had much sorrow.
You see that? It's the same thing. Because we're not being wicked, we've had much sorrow. Man, I don't want to keep the Sabbath. When we keeping the commandments, it's like, oh man, we barely making it out. It's on the third. Man, I wish I could just go back to my wickedness, man. Because again, when you're living a life of wickedness, this world is going to congratulate you. It's going to congratulate you, right? It's going to give you everything that you need, everything that you want. For example, let's say what happens when you speak out against the letter community? Put it like that, the letter community. Brothers know what I'm talking about. the letter community. What happens when you speak out against them? You get fined. You may even be put in jail. Right? You put in jail. You may be charged with some offense. Right? All these things happen to you. You get ridiculed, mocked at.
Ostracized.
Exactly, ostracized. People look at you like, "What? How could you say that? Love is love. This and the third. Let him, whatever. Let that thing, because you can't put a pronoun on it, right? So, let that thing.
That's the wrong pronoun.
Right, God, that's the wrong pronoun, right? Hey, pretty soon they're gonna be charging you for if you say the wrong pronoun, something like that, right? There was a video of somebody saying like oh man, like you really did it, that or something like that, like, man, why you that person said like, man, why you doing that? And it's obviously it's a man, but he was like, I'm not a man, I'm a woman. I'm like,
he was in the store.
Man,
it's like you said what?
He was in the store.
No, I'm just saying, like, I saw a video that somebody was saying that to somebody else that was part of that community, and obviously he was a man, but he was like, no, I'm not a man, I'm a woman. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, was the person like in the store or something, and he got mad?
Oh no, it wasn't in the store. It was like outside. I don't know where they were.
Oh yeah, I seen a video like that, and I seen a video just like that. The dude was getting mad, but clear as day, man. You a dude, man.
Oh yeah, I seen that. Yeah, I seen that too. Yeah, I seen that too. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, stuff like that happens, man. Almost every day now. Almost. You also have what the ish community, small hats, right? If you speak against them, what happens? Hey, everything is taken away from you, man. Hey, they even fired an Edomite for speaking out against a Jewish person or a small hat. They fired an Edomite. So Edomites firing Edomites. That's crazy. So you already know what they will do to you as an Israelite, right?
I got one more precept too.
God, you got it.
God, this is Sirach chapter 5 and verse 4.
God.
Say not, I have sinned, and what harm hath happened unto me?
Right.
For the Lord is long suffering. he will in no wise let thee go.
Con. And that's right, man. Yeah, you don't want to continue to keep sinning, and you're not walking in the spirit, not walking in Yahweh, because if you keep doing so, the Most High is not going to let that go, man. Right? The Most High is not going to let you go. You already know that Easter is not in the Bible. You already know that these certain pagan traditions are not in the Bible. Yet you keep want to do it. You want to continue to keeping them, right? You want to continue to keep Passover, it's like Easter, Halloween, Thanksgiving, all this stuff that has nothing to do with the Bible, right? But yeah, let's finish that out in Jeremiah 44, 18.
This is Jeremiah chapter 44 and verse 18.
All right.
But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and to pour out drink offerings unto her, we have wanted all things and have been consumed by the sword and by the famine. And when we burned incense to the Queen of Heaven and poured out drink offerings unto her, did we make her cakes to worship her and pour out drink offerings unto her without our men.
Yeah, you can't. So what's going on is that it's just the same thing that we've been saying. Israel is saying that, look, ever since we left off from worshiping her, it's been bad for us. So, again, this is not a rest. All right. The Lord said that this is not a rest in Micah chapter 2, verse 10. So you're not going to have everything when you're keeping the commandments in this world. But the Most High promised us everything what? In the next word to come. He said, he that overcome, it's like he that overcomes shall inherit all things. Right? In the book of Revelation. So if you want to inherit all things, you have to overcome this world right now, this temporary world, to enter into that eternal, right? Real quick, let's go to Ezekiel, because there's another account, I believe. Ezekiel 8. What was it? Ezekiel 8. Ezekiel chapter 8, and it's Tammuz. So if you look up Tammuz, it's let me just look this up real quick. Mother, right? Here. It's part of that same type of like family of you see that? It's the same type of like family of or what should I say, family or branch of religion, basically, or idolatry, because Tammuz is the son of
Ishtar, huh?
Yeah, I believe Ishtar, the son of Ishtar, but I know
Nimrod.
Nimrod, exactly. Nimrod was actually also a Babylonian god that they worshipped.
Yeah. And with that, man, a Nimrod slept with his mom, man. That's how he got Tammuz. And we know that's forbidden, according to the law.
Oh yeah,
according to humanity. But that's another story to the spirit.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, so exactly. If I'm not mistaken, well, anyways, Tammuz is in the Mesopotamian religion, which Ishtar also comes from anyway. All right, so it's like I said, it's the same type of it's from the same region, I should say. Okay. All right, Khan. So let's just go back to this. So you even see in our people worshiping Tammuz as well, which has to do with, because they say that Tammuz was born on December 25th. That's where you get that from. What you have Christmas, right? That's what they get that date from, December 25th. And also they get that from Tammuz. They also get that from the Greek traditions as well, Saturnalia. They would do that around the same time as well. So it's never just like, you never have any holiday in America just has an innocent origin. It's like, oh, we just wanted to do this, and nothing evil behind it at all. But let's go to Ezekiel 8 and verse 13 real quick.
This is Ezekiel chapter 8 and verse 13. He said also unto me, turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord's house, which was toward the north. And behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz.
You see that? Women weeping for Tammuz.
Then said he unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abomination than these.
Right. So you see how the Lord speaks. He's like, man, you seen this? Look at what they're doing. See how the Most High, just, I feel like the Most High in this, when he was talking to Ezekiel, he was just disgusted.
Come.
He was just disappointed. It's like, have you seen this, man? Crazy, right? Go ahead.
Come, verse 16. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east, and they worshiped the sun toward the east.
They worship the sun towards the east. Again, why you guys celebrating this thing on Sunday is because it goes back to that sun worship. All right, it goes back to that sun worship. You ever wonder why it always falls on a Sunday? Okay, when you look at when we keep Passover and stuff like that, we're not doing it according to the days of the week. We say, okay, Passover, boom, is April 3rd at sundown. But it's not always the case every year. Sometimes it could be like March something. It could be like April 1st at sundown or something like that. It could be April 4th. It doesn't matter about the day. We just say that because that's the universal calendar that we all, have to go through, because that's what Esau has set up, right? But we're not doing it off of that. We're doing it off of what the moon cycles, right? We're doing it off the moon cycles, right? So that's the calendar. We're doing it off the Hebrew calendar. All right. And we just have to translate that calendar to the modern day. All right. So that's how we keep our feast days. All right. Mainly off the moon. So that's how you're supposed to do it. You're not supposed to do it off of this calendar solely, because that's they make it always on, it could be a different it could be like April something, like it could be like April 4th or whatever, but it's always a Sunday. They always make it a Sunday, I think it's like the second Sunday of the month or something like that, right? Second Sunday in the month. Where's that in the Bible? Second Sunday of the month. It's just that, right? You got it, King.
Okay, I was gonna say, make a point. They even do that for Thanksgiving. It's every Thursday. It don't never miss a Thursday. It's always on a Thursday.
Right.
And I believe it's like, I think the last Thursday of the month, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
And it's always on the Thursday. It never miss, man. Never miss a Thursday, man.
Never miss.
Yeah, but Khan, you got it, King.
Yeah, Khan. No, that's exactly right, man. Exactly right. So you see the idolatry in terms of, the sun. They always have to have it on a Sunday, right? It's the significance behind that. But Khan, finish that out, King.
Khan, verse 17. Then he said unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man?
Right.
Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here?
Right.
For they have filled the land with violence, and have returned to provoke me to anger. And lo, they put the branch to their nose. Therefore will I also deal in fury.
Now, the Most High not angry at people that keep Easter.
Therefore will I also deal in fury. Mine eye shall not spare.
Right.
Neither will I have pity.
Right.
And though they cry in my ears with a loud voice,
right,
yet will I not hear them.
No, the Lord hears all people.
Yet will I not hear them.
Now, I can sin and the Lord can still hear me. I can still keep Easter.
Yet will I not hear them.
Yet will I not hear them. I mean, that's how the Lord is speaking right now, man. That's how the Lord. Hey, where's your pastor reading this, man? Right. How come your pastor not bringing this out? Man? All right, you always want to bring out, I do not frustrate the grace, and John 3:16. I do not frustrate the grace. Right? You always want to bring out these same precepts. He doesn't want to bring this up. All right. So yeah, it obviously, if you haven't understood by now, Easter, don't keep it. Keep Passover, man. Okay, we just kept Passover, right? Yeah, with the lamb, bitter herbs to the spirit, unleavened bread. Okay, where's your what they do in the Catholic Church, the communion, right? They do the communion with the crackers and the
every Sunday,
right? So here's what they get that from. They get that from 1 Corinthians 11, right? They get that from 1 Corinthians 11 when the Lord, let's just get that real quick. because we also want to represent their side, so it's fair for them. But we're not going to read the whole thing, but let's go to 1 Corinthians 11 and verse 23. So this is where they get that communion from, right? Which is actually, okay, well, maybe not what you should be doing, but this is what you really should be doing according to the scriptures, right? Go ahead, King.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 23.
Uh-huh.
For I have received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto you, that the Lord Yahushua, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread, and when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, Take, eat, this is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me.
Mm-hmm.
After the same manner also he took the cup when he had supped, saying, This cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me.
Right. So that's the cup, right? Now here's the thing. The communion in the Catholic Church, they will have now I haven't actually seen it in person, but I've seen videos of it. So they would do they have unleavened bread there?
I think it is. It's like a cracker.
It's like a cracker, huh?
Yeah,
Con. Yeah. So they make
that's it right there.
Okay, Con. Well, see, this is not unleavened at all.
Not at all.
Hey, that's
right there in the hand.
Yeah, Con. Right. Yep. Right here. So if that's unleavened bread, all right, Con. But here's the thing, though. It says the bread says, "Take, eat, this is my body, which is broken for you. Do this in remembrance of me." Right. And it says what? The cup is a New Testament in my blood. This do ye as often as you drink it in remembrance of me. So you should have the wine, right? It should also be unleavened as well, right? The wine and the bread, but they're missing they're missing the lamb.
Okay.
I never seen them eat lamb in the community. They don't eat lamb, right?
Or bitter herbs.
Or the bitter herbs either. Hey, come on. Hey, the brothers was damn. Hey, I was damn dying.
Horseradish.
Hey, that horseradish. How come your priest isn't eating the horseradish, man?
Right.
He's supposed to be some priest, right? Some holy man of God, but he's not. He doesn't want to eat the bitter herbs, right? So again, but yeah, Con. So here's what they get this from. Here's the point in verse 26. This is what they get this from.
Verse 26.
All right.
For as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do shew the Lord's death till he come.
Right. So they take that as saying, as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, meaning that you should do it every Sabbath. Where's it say that at? They take that as saying, yeah, so you do it every Sabbath. Huh? This is talking about, and specifically talking about the Lord's Passover. Let's jump up to verse 20.
Verse 20.
Uh-huh.
When ye come together, therefore, into one place,
right?
This is not to eat the Lord's Supper.
Meaning that you don't just go to the Passover event or the Passover where brothers and sisters are congregating that just to eat, right? That's what Paul is saying. It's not just to eat the Passover supper. That's what he's saying, because it's deeper than that. That's why he brought out that precept. That's why he was saying, that's why Yahushua, look, if you're unworthy to eat the Passover, just stay at home. That's what he was saying. That's the whole context of 1 Corinthians 11, what we're reading right here, right? So he's like, look, like you don't just come to the event just to eat the Passover, right? You come there in remembrance of Yahushua, and then you eat, and then you be merry, right? But you got to come there for that, not just to eat the lamb, So that's why he explains that. So it's not taught. You do that once a year. You don't do that every Sabbath. So again, I don't understand why people still go to these churches. Well, we understand it, but at the same time, we don't understand, right? Because if you just read it for yourself, you understand that, oh, look, it's not talking about every Sabbath. It's not talking about what you're talking about, Oh, this bread, I thought it was supposed to be unleavened. Why are you eating it leavened? Stuff like that. Like, just read it for yourself, man. All right, just do this research for yourself. We're bringing the knowledge to you, but like I said, it's not like you can't get it yourself. All right. It's not like you can't dig deep yourself and find this information. All right. The Lord said, let him that have an ear, let him hear. Okay. So, brothers have any points or precepts?
Law King.
Okay, Khan. Yep, all praises, all praises. So let me see if that's all basically the points that we had on that. Also, it was brought up to us that on Sunday, that yeah, basically, we actually did go into that before the Lent, right? They'll say that the Lent, which is basically like that fasting period that leads up to Passover, or it's like that leads up to Easter, right? That leads up to Easter or whatever, Good Friday. They'll say that during that period you fast, so you might cut out something in your life, like no TV for those 40 days or whatever, no like fast food or whatever. That's not in the Bible, but anyway, like I'm saying, like that's not an actual fast, for real. Fast, like the Lord fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, for real. He was not eating or drinking for 40 days, 40 nights. So that's a real fast. But yeah, so that's what they do leading up until Good Friday. I'm not sure what they do on Good Friday. I'm not a Catholic, but on Easter they'll keep Easter on that following.
I believe on Good Friday they don't eat no meat.
No meat.
Yeah.
I thought that was every Friday. Like,
is it?
Yeah, kind of like on every Friday they don't eat meat.
Oh, maybe
the Catholics.
I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So again, yeah, I'm pretty sure the brother was just saying, like, yeah, on Good Friday they don't eat meat, but on Sunday they might eat a ham. You see that in the stores. They will say, get your ham. So you're literally eating unclean food on the day that Yahweh Shah so-called resurrected, right? I mean, it's just madness all around. You're literally breaking the law. You're breaking the commandments. You're breaking so many commandments at once. You're eating a ham, celebrating Easter on the wrong day. It's just crazy. It's just crazy, man. Right? And if you think that Sunday's the Sabbath, well, where'd you get that ham from? Probably had to buy it. Probably bought it the same day. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So it's just crazy. And Khan, I just want to bring out just the classic in Mark chapter 7. Right. Let's go to Mark 7 and verse 6. Right. Tradition of men. So that's literally what that's going into.
Khan, this is Mark chapter 7 and verse number 6. He answered and said unto them, well have Esaias prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me.
Right. So a lot of Christians, especially of our people, they may even have a zeal of God, but it's not according to knowledge.
Right.
So they honor the Most High with their lips, but their heart is far from the Most High. I mean, your heart going into your mind, you're not thinking about the Most High. Your spirit is not with the Lord, right? In all honesty, you think you have the Holy Ghost, you don't. All right. Because if you have the Holy Ghost, you got the Holy Spirit, all right, you actually understand what this Bible is really going to. All right, but Khan, you got the king.
Verse 7, howbeit, in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
Wait, what's Easter?
Teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
It's the commandment of men.
Right.
Go ahead.
For laying aside the commandment of Yahweh.
Wait, what they do?
For laying aside the commandment of Yahweh.
So they want to lay aside the commandment of Yahweh. They think that Passover is just that Old Testament thing. It's for the Jews. I'm not a Jew, I'm a Gentile. Right? Crazy, right? They lay aside that commandment, right? Go ahead.
Ye hold the tradition of men.
What is Easter?
Ye hold the tradition of men. As the washing of pots and cups, and many other such like things ye do.
Exactly. So you're literally keeping a man's tradition, right? And that's why we have to make these videos so that Israel is informed of that. One more. Let's go to Colossians 2 and 8 classic as well.
This is Colossians chapter 2 and verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit,
right?
After the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
Right. So Easter is not after Christ,
and not after Christ.
Right. And it's not after Hamashiach Yahweh Shah, man. Because again, any Christian Show me what a bunny or a rabbit, whatever, and eggs have to do with Yahweh. You can't do it. You know, you can't do it. Show me how from Friday to Sunday, that's 3 days. Show me that. You know, I mean, it's just, you just got to open your eyes, man.
Yeah,
Like,
for
just,
real.
bro, just like literally, just like, how can you keep continuing to do this? But you know that, it's not given to everybody, right? The spirit is not given to everybody. So we understand that. So with that, all praises to the Most High God, Yahweh Shem Shah. Sorry, Rick, you had anything?
God, I got a precept.
Fine, got it.
What you was going into. And this is Galatians chapter 1 in verse 8. It says, but though we or any angel from heaven preach any other gospel unto you, that which ye have preached unto you, let him be accursed, man. Because everybody that's preaching Easter Sunday, Good Friday, Palm Sunday, and all these different things, man, they're gonna be accursed, right? And it says, as we said before, so say I now again, if any man preach any other gospel unto you, that ye have received, let him be accursed. Verse 10, for do I now persuade men or Yahweh, or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of Christ. And that's what a lot of these so-called Christianity or Catholics around the world, Christians, they want to serve men. They persuaded by men doctrine. They want to serve what men got going on, not what thus said the Lord. They so caught up into what the traditions of, like the brother was going through, the traditions of men got going on, but they not really understanding, what the Most High Yahweh Shai got going on, So, get in these gospels, man. Like the brother's saying, man. Hey, read the Bible for yourself through the Spirit.
Come. Yeah, exactly. Read the Bible for yourself, man. And I just want to get a precept on just 2 precepts on the priest, right? Because that's who's really continuing these doctrines as well. Look, if you priests actually, now I'm gonna give it to them. Maybe some don't know, all right? Maybe some are actually thinking that they're doing the right thing. I'm gonna give them that. The ones of our people, of course. But if you're of our people and you know about this truth and you know that Easter is a pagan holiday and you still continue to do it, guess what? This priest is for you, man. Let's go to Malachi chapter 2 verse 7. All right. Let's go to Malachi chapter 2 verse 7. You call yourself a priest, right? All right, come. So this is for you then. Malachi's for you. All right. Come, let's read this.
This is Malachi chapter 2 and verse 7.
Uh-huh.
For the priest's lips should keep knowledge.
Uh-huh.
And they should seek the law at his mouth.
No, they should seek pagan gods.
And they should seek the law at his mouth.
Not Easter.
They should seek the law at his mouth.
Yeah, they should seek the law at his mouth. Okay. Go ahead.
For he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts.
You're the messenger of Yahweh Shem Shah.
Right.
If you call yourself a priest, all right, and really the priests are the Levites, but we know that in the spiritual sense, if you're a man in this truth and you are bringing out the word and you're a leader of the people, you're a priest as well, because we're a kingdom of what priests, according to the book of Exodus chapter 19 verse 5 on down. So if you're a priest, guess what? You're a messenger of Yahweh Shem Shah. You have to know what the scripture is going into. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be saying like, okay, yeah, we just want to continue to keep Easter and this and the third. We have an Easter Sunday, this and the third, and you already know that it has nothing to do with Christ. It has nothing to do with Yahweh Shah. All right, and certain Christians, I would say, higher level Christians would know and understand that it has nothing to do with Christ. All right, they'll know and understand that. Okay, but not to put you guys on a level, but there is a level to it, all right? Because I'll say the entry level, the low level Christians, they'll be like, what? Easter is pagan. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Just ask just ask the scholars, the Christian scholars, the Christian theologians. They'll tell you, all right? If you don't want to take it from us, right? Because brothers didn't go to college, huh? Right? Brothers didn't go to get a PhD in theology, so we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right? So exactly. So yeah, you can take it from them, man. So yeah, like how we're saying, Easter is a pagan holiday, man. Shouldn't be celebrated. celebrate Passover. Celebrate the feast days that the Most High has set up for you,
No
man.
more precept.
And Khan, you got it.
This is Romans chapter 1 and 25.
Uh-huh.
Who changed the truth of Yahweh into a lie,
Mm-hmm.
and worship and serve the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen.
Right, exactly. You want to break that down?
God, I mean, we see what these churches did, man. They took what the Most High gave us, Passover,
Yep.
and they turned it into a lie, which is Easter, man.
Yep.
They took the lamb and they turned it into damn bunnies with eggs.
Mm.
Bunnies don't even lay eggs, man.
Yeah.
Just it's all confusion, man. And everybody fell for it, man. What kind?
The
Yeah.
okie doke.
Exactly. The okie doke. Exactly. So, this is the land of confusion, man. Get out the churches, get out the Catholic churches as well. They're touching your kids. All right. They're touching your kids.
Hey, big time.
Hey, big time. You can't. Hey, what you gonna say? Right. Oh, that's not true. That's not my piece. All right. Well, all right.
Hey, it's documented, man.
It's documented. It's not even in the dark anymore. People know about this. So get out the churches. No, they don't got the Holy Spirit, and yeah, don't keep Easter, man. So brothers can bring out their closing precepts now for the Spirit. You guys get first direct through the Spirit.
This is let me get 2 precepts, same chapter. This is Sirach 24 and 24. It reads, fate not to be strong in the Lord, that he may confirm you. Cleave unto him, for the Lord Almighty is God alone, and beside him there is no other Savior. So you gotta cleave unto the Most High wholeheartedly. Get out of these nasty pagan worships. Stay away from Easter. Stay away from all the upcoming so-called folly days. Through the Spirit. And cleave unto the Most High, and get in these scriptures and read for yourself and understand what you should be doing according to what the Most High acquired of us as Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? And this is another precept. This is Sirach 24 and 32. It says, I will make my doctrine to shine as the morning, and I will send forth her light afar off. I will yet pour out doctrine as prophecy, and leave it to all ages forever. So this knowledge is here for us. Are you gonna take it, or are you gonna fumble it? You don't want to smoke it, man. You want to be able to upkeep it, and eat this wisdom, right? Verse 34. It says, behold, that I have not labored for myself only, but for all men that seek wisdom, and all this is wisdom. Look these things up. Hit your Google. Everybody got a smartphone nowadays. If you got an Android or you got a iPhone, look these things up. These things are not hidden no more. It's out here for the taking. Are you gonna take it, or are you gonna just fall? You're gonna fumble it. But with that, Yashar.
That's right. You had to close the precept.
I got one. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and 13.
Mm-hmm.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. So, man, stop following after these damn so-called pastors that are just confusing you and taking you further away from the Most High instead of bringing you closer to him, man. Hey, man, and fear the Most High and do what he told you to do, man.
Con, yep. Hey, simple as that, man. Simple as that. Con. I have my closing precept as well through the Spirit. I wanted to go to Acts chapter 16, and I could read the King. Acts 16 verse 20 says, and brought them to the magistrates, saying, these men, being Jews, do exceedingly trouble our city, and teach customs which are not lawful for us to receive, neither to observe, being Roman. So, Jake, Eve, both kingdoms, Southern Kingdom, Northern Kingdom. This is some of you guys. You know what I'm saying? This is some of you guys we're reading about in the Bible, man. You know what I'm saying? You think that the customs that we're teaching you, which are the commandments of God, by the way, all right, the commandments of God that you claim to believe in, you don't want to keep that, though. You say that's the Old Testament. You say that, oh, no, commandments too hard, right? The law's done away with. You're so quick to say the law is done away with, or that there's only 2 commandments, right? Some of them say that. Oh yeah, I keep the commandments. 2 commandments, right? Love the Lord your God, love the Lord and love your neighbor, So look, whatever you want to say, whatever your excuse is not to keep the law or not even to try, all right? The Lord wants you to try. It says that, look, you think that we're teaching you customs which are not lawful for you to receive being a Roman. You just want to be an American. You want to stay being an American. You want to stay being in this world, and that's why you don't want to come to this truth, man. Because you want to stay keeping Easter. You don't want to change your ways. You have to understand that your life needs to change for you. How about you? My life changed. The brother's life changed, right? Hey, Cyrac, he changed too. Brothers and sisters that's watching this live right now, that's in this truth, that's in the world before, their lives changed, for the Most High. You can do that as well. All right. Just how your mighty forefathers did that as well. Paul did that. You understand that? Peter, Andrew, James, John, they all had to convert. All right. So the same way they did that, we had to do it as well. Had one more precept. Sirach 1 in verse number 5, it says, the word of God Most High is the fountain of wisdom, and her ways are everlasting commandments. So the Most High's ways are everlasting commandments, meaning that they're here forever, not just going to go away or whatever. They're here forever. Okay. So all praises to you. How about you now? Shot for that. You better keep this law. Hey, try to keep this law to the best of your ability, man. Right. So all praises to the Most High. So with that, this is Brother Yasha Allah.
Come on, Brother Natash.
It's Brother Cyrac.
Coming back to y'all yet another video through the Spirit by Yahweh Shah. The water for tuning in. Everybody that's watching live through the Spirit. Hope y'all have a mighty rest of y'all Shabbat through the Spirit. So with that, Kwam Yashala. Shalom.
Shalom.